Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Some of you are probably people that have been watching for a while, and some of you are new. I really appreciate you both. I know I took a hiatus, and because you won't believe this, I started a toy review channel. Yeah, toy reviews. I like my toys, you know. But I decided to reinvigorate the wedding photography channel and show you what I've done recently. I have so many weddings recorded on GoPro, and I want to make them really good. So here we are with one light in Godox AD200. Do you work for the venue?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there somewhere safe I can put this where nobody can get to it except me?
But it's
After the ceremony, we're going out to take pictures, and I don't want to take it. So is there like a room or something?
You know what? We can leave it with
The DJ? I am in downtown Los Angeles, a few blocks from Skid Row. I don't want to take any chances, you know? Is all of this ready? Is it ready for me to take pictures? Yeah? It's all set up? Okay, thank you. Okay, so you want to make sure that everything is set up before you start photographing it. Right now, I'm actually not even using a light, and I have my 70 to 200 millimeter on because I'm actually doing this before the ceremony, and I'm taking the opportunity to get this because if I wait till after, I'm not going to be able to get it. So I'm actually not using my light right now. There's plenty of light in here, and the photos come out really good, I think, without that extra light. I am using single point autofocus, okay, not continuous. I hardly ever use continuous. So like I said, I have the ceremony up next. That's why I have this lens on. Otherwise, I probably would be on my 85 and 35, but I'm ready for the ceremony at this point. But look, my settings, I'm at 3200 ISO, so I'm pushing to the limits here. If I was on my 85 mil, it would have been a little easier. I probably would have put it to like 1.4, 1.6. The ISOs wouldn't have to be that high. So yeah, I could have switched real quick, but the ceremony was literally about to start. So I get all my photos. This is without any additional lighting, and I think it looks really good. But later on, you'll see this whole video is dedicated to using the Godox AD200 with the mag sphere and the grid. There we go. I really don't want to offend anybody and the way they do things, but I'll be really candid with the way I feel about bounce flash, which is another point of this video. Bounce flash sucks. I only use it when absolutely needed. And right here with all this space, why not get an off-camera light? Why not do that? Is it too much work, you think, to be able to move it around? Maybe, right? But right here, I feel like the direction of light is just so much nicer. I have the AD200 with the Godox Mag Sphere again, and I believe what it gives me is just a really great picture. I think the direction of the light looks really good. The grid, it focuses the light a little bit so that it only hits the spot that I want it to hit, so there's no spill on the wall. And the flash power, well, that depends on your settings, okay?
What channel are you on?
21.
21? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch mine up.
You're on 21?
Yeah, I'm on 21 too, bro. I was like,
no way.
Like, why is it going off? I was like, oh wait, I know.
That's so random. So the photo booth guy and I were having a little bit of trouble. Apparently we were on the same channel. I mean, Godox has like, what, 30 channels? And I was on number 21. I chose 21 because it's so random. It's who's going to be on 21 and what are the odds? And this guy happened to be on 21. That's nuts. But yes, direction of light. Look how pretty that looks. One of the best things about off-camera light is the consistency. Look, that light is a few feet from that cake. Every shot that I take of that cake is going to be lit up consistently. I can move around the cake and get different shots. The same thing for the little pastries right there. I think this is such a better way. If you're looking to cut down on your editing time, you have to remain consistent. And having an off-camera light is going to help you with that. Having a bounce flash is not. Bounce flash is going to be totally inconsistent. Plus, these ceilings are really high. And you see all these DJ monogram lights and stuff. All that stuff is going to get in your shot. You have to be able to at least overpower it or use it. But if you have off-camera flash, you're going to have a hard time overpowering it. I'm here thinking about titles for this video, and I have to come up with one all the time. It's like, bounce flash sucks and you know it. But you know what? I don't want to be that harsh with it, because bounce flash has its place and you have to be able to use it well. Okay, so check it out. Here I am practicing my flash power basically on whomever is going to be in front of me, so that when they make their entrance, I'm ready. My light is to my left. I take the grid off of this because the grid focuses the light, right? But if I have it focused, then they move, then it's not gonna be good anymore. Hey, do me a favor, yeah? Can you go stand over there for me? Can you go stand over there for me? More. Right there, look back. Hold on. Perfect. You're so good at that. Wanna see? See how good you look? So I've known this girl for a bit now. I photographed her family before, so that's why I felt comfortable asking her. I switched to continuous focusing, all right? This is practically the only time I use continuous because the subject is moving towards me. So now that I got my light set up, I took the grid off, I tested it on somebody, here we go. Did the shots come out okay? Yes, they did. They're a little wide, and I got some closer ones too. I just didn't include them for some reason, but they're high resolution pictures, right? They're 4 megapixels, so they should be able to crop into one of the wide ones if that's what they wanted to do. But they got some closer ones as well. So look, my light is off to the right with a grid at this point, okay? This is so much better than bounce flash. Look, the light is directional. It's consistent. They're not moving all over the place. When people dance their first dance, they generally stay in one area. So you put your light far back enough, and when the light hits them, it should be even. Here I am doing a little video because I'm also doing a trailer for them. It's kind of crazy to think that you're doing both, but I've gotten pretty good at it where I was able to create a video trailer for them. This dance lasts a few minutes. You don't need to take photos for those all that time because you'll end up with a bunch of pictures. So why not take a little bit of time to do a little video? You have the gear, you have the knowledge, do it, make yourself a little extra money, charge them a little extra for the trailer, and you're all good. Okay, so check it out. I am on my 35mm and 85mm lens. My settings here, look at my shutter speed. It's 1/160, 1.4. That's letting a lot of ambient light in. I could actually drop that down to maybe 1/125, and that lets even more ambient light in. See, that one's at 1/125. Then the flash power is such that it's sufficient enough to illuminate the subjects. If you do that, you'll have a good combination of flash and ambient light. But you don't want ambient light to dominate because you want flattering light on the subjects like this. This looks really good. If you were using bounce flash here, man, it would be so inconsistent. Or maybe not, because I'm generally in one spot because I chose my background. I want my background to be what it is right here and not the DJ. Because if I moved to the left, I would have the bartender as a background. If I moved to the right, I would have the DJ as a background. But I don't want either one of those. So I'm generally in this spot to have that board in the background as a backdrop to the photos that I take. But you see how I'm moving forwards and backwards? That would affect a bounce flash, wouldn't it? I mean, you guys that are bounce flash people, would it not have affected the power of the flash? So let's say you're on TTL flash, that means it's auto, right? I don't do auto, okay? I don't do auto flash because that is the most inconsistent that you could be. You'll have a nightmare scenario trying to edit all these pictures. No way will I do that to myself. 1/125 the flash, the shutter speed, that lets in a good amount of ambient light. The the aperture is 2.5, 1200. This is textbook for me. Just one light does it. You don't need two, although two would add more depth, I guess you can say, but I'm kind of really digging one light setup. If the ambient light around them is good enough, then you really don't need a second light, let alone a third, because the ambient light is nice and the flash from your main light is good. That gives you a really good picture. So look, one of the things that I do is that I overshoot. Just because the dance is going on still and you know you've got a wide one, a tight one, you got one of his face, you got one of her face. You don't have to keep taking all these pictures. You want to remain vigilant, yes, because in a split second they can be doing the cutest little expression and you might miss it if you let up, and that's probably why I keep taking pictures. But there's so many. After a 3-minute dance, you end up with like 80 pictures, 100 pictures, and that's way too many to deliver. Really. So look, part of their schedule here is that they had the cake cutting right afterwards. How do you position them so that you can get them cutting the cake? Do you have the DJ as the backdrop or the bartender to my right? So it's kind of a tricky situation when they have the table like this. It's always nicer when they can get behind the cake, but in this case you can't do that.
One more.
So I'm going to tell them to do it a certain way, but first I want a photo of them like this. Same scenario, same situation here. My light is off to my right, I have a grid on it, I do my settings and I tell them, okay, I'm good to go, and this is what I get. Using bounce flash in this scenario might have been a better idea because when the light comes down on them, it wouldn't have created this flash shadows. So the way I had the light set up, there were some shadows there, but this is all in the moment. Like you're moving fast. You wedding photographers, you know what I'm talking about. You have to go quick, bam, 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 and this time of day, this cake cutting part here, there's no exception because afterwards they're doing something else. So that's why we had to do it really quick. Although they're taking forever to get the knives and stuff, so I take this opportunity to drink my drink. You know what I mean? So they're gonna bring the stuff to them and then I'll be ready for the photos. My light is off to my left, it's gridded, and I am going to take photos of them. I have them right beside each other, not behind, not like in front or back, beside, so that they can be on the same plane and I can get the shots.
Me. So look at me first. Hold on. Alright, go for it. Just take it out and put it in there.
So after the cake cutting, I want a photo of them, but not in this position. This position is only necessary for the actual cutting of the cake. Once I get that, then I'm gonna reposition them the same way they were before, put my light, and then do the cake feeding to each other. So here I am getting some test shots. Let's go. Bam, bam, bam. This looks good, I think. I would prefer them to be a little off the wall, which maybe in retrospect I should have done, but I think these photos look really good. I really think that you guys should consider using off-camera lighting as opposed to bounce flash. Bounce flash is inconsistent. Off-camera lighting can be very consistent. This can be really easily done, even more so if you had an assistant to help you move the light around. Although look at the area here, it's huge. I don't need an assistant here. I generally need an assistant when there is no space to walk, there's no space to even stand, and so I need an assistant to hold the light stand because the legs of the light stand will make everything difficult. Stay tuned for part 2 of the reception where I'll cover the speeches and various other things. Thanks guys, thanks so much.